Hello, good day to everybody. In this short video tutorial, I'll be focusing on skills and techniques needed in answering question 1, reading comprehension, which is tested under paper 1, 0500, first language English. Okay, so without wasting our time, let us start with today's lesson. Okay. I'm going to start sharing the slides which I'll be using in today's lesson. Okay, so even though I have details of both of these sub-questions tested under question 1, which are reading comprehension and summary tasks, but in this tutorial, I'll be highlighting only on reading comprehension. Okay, so basically, okay, reading comprehension task carries 15 marks. Okay, so when we look at the assessment objective, they are basically focusing more on reading assessment. Okay, that means the ability for the students to demonstrate their understanding of explicit meanings, implicit meanings, and also the attitudes. Okay, it is also very important for the candidates to select and use information for specific purposes based on text A. Okay, and when we look at the number of the questions, like how many questions are there, basically it is one question which consists of a series of sub questions. So how many sub questions are there? Basically there are 5. That means you have question 1A, B, C, D, and E. Okay, so the question number 6 would be the summary task. Okay, so great. Let's move on to the sample questions. That means sub questions taken from May-June 2020 paper. Okay, it's a very recent paper. So let's analyze which questions which questions need you to use explicit understanding or implicit understanding in getting the answer or in getting the right answers. Okay, great. So obviously candidates are required to read text A, which will be focusing on the problem with plastics. So that means the entire text is about the problem with plastics, and then they have to answer question 1A to E on the question paper. Okay, great. Let's look at question 1. Give 3 examples of man-made materials humans use more than plastic. So when you look at the mark allocation, it's only 1 mark question. Therefore, this is obviously an explicit, candidates need to use explicit meaning from the text. That means, what is the keyword in the question which allows the students to decide whether they need to basically take the answers directly from the text or they need to infer? Okay, but in this case, no inference is needed because the keyword give allows the candidates to choose the answers directly from the text. Therefore, students can just copy and paste the answers from the text. So remember, so when you see this keyword give, when you see the keyword identify, for an example, these are the 2 commonly used keywords when it comes to explicit questions. Okay, so remember, give 3 examples, so no inference is needed. The 3 examples can be taken directly from the text. Okay, so remember, even if 1 question or 1 answer or 1 example is wrong, the candidate will be straight away getting 0 instead of 1 mark. Okay, now for the second sub-question, question 1B, using your own words, explain what the text means by. So when you see this keywords, using your own words, it means that the candidates need to translate using synonym. Okay, so when you see here adaptable and durable, when you look at the mark allocation, it's 2 marks. Therefore, your answers should consist of 2 key two key translation of the original idea. That means you need to have one idea for adaptable and the other idea for durable. Okay, and in order for you not to make a generalized translation, therefore always refer to the line number given here, so that the translation that you give, the synonyms that you give, basically match with the content or the subject content in line 1. Okay, and the same thing here, an astonishing mass. So when you say by astonishing, most probably you can say an incredible or an amazing. Okay, but when you talk about mass, obviously you're referring to a big quantity. Like according to line 4, it is reflecting or it's referring to plastics. Therefore, maybe you can answer an astonishing mass in your own words. You can say an incredible huge number of plastics, for an example. Okay, so when I say incredible, so it basically, you know, translates the idea of astonishing. And when you mention about a huge number of plastics or sheer volume of plastics, therefore you are basically translating the idea of mass. Okay, clear? So remember, 2 marks, that means you need to have 2 key ideas in your answer. Now let's quickly move on to the next one, next sub question, which is reread paragraph 3. So your focus is only on paragraph 3 and give 2 reasons, like what I have mentioned previously. When you see the word give, it means that you are required to take the ideas directly from the text instead of making your own inference. Okay, so remember, when you see the word keyword give in the question, you need to straight away look for the text for the answer. Okay, now moving on, let's look at the last 2 sub questions under reading comprehension. Now reread paragraph 4 and 5. That means your focus is supposed to be on paragraph 4 and 5. Now, but some candidates may ended up taking one answer for D1, like the first bullet point. Most probably they take this answer from paragraph 4, and for the second bullet point here, they take the answer from paragraph 5. But again, this is not a formatted theory in answering this reading comprehension question. Now you just read paragraph 4 and you see if you could get 2 facts from it. If you could get 2 facts from paragraph 4, therefore perhaps you can just like save a paragraph 5 for getting answers for D2. Okay, so identify 2 facts about how plastics items are dealt with, which led to plastic waste littering the environment. Therefore, you just straight away get 2 facts from paragraph 4. Why? Because of the keyword identify. Remember, I mentioned when you use the keyword identify, when you use the keyword give, it is definitely explicit. You are supposed to take the answers directly from the text. Okay, now next, what changes are needed to improve the recycling of plastic? So maybe the answers may be written implicitly in the text. Generally, when it comes to reading comprehension, as we move on from one sub question to the other sub question, the difficulty level of the question will be increased as well. Like this is where the students might need to use their higher order thinking skills to look for the answers between the lines. That means this is focusing more on implicit ideas. Okay, now that means what changes are needed. Maybe the changes might not be directly written in the text. They may have to read between the lines in order to get the answer for this. Okay, and looking at the last part of the question, read it paragraph 6 and 7. That means the focus should be on paragraph 6 and 7, and here the students are supposed to use their own words. Anything which is entirely copied from the original text will not be credited with any mark. So this is very, very crucial for the students to read paragraph 6 and 7 and then choose the reasons why the problem of plastic waste is not being dealt with quickly enough. Once the students have extracted that 3 points. Why I mentioned 3 points? Because 3 marks. Even for this question here, what are the changes needed? That means 3 changes needed. So here, what are the reasons why the problem of plastic waste is not being dealt with quickly enough? You need to get three reasons here. So you just take the reasons from the text, and again, it may be explicitly written or implicitly written, whatever ways the ideas are written in the text. Just extract the points and make sure that you use your own words. That means you paraphrase. So when you paraphrase, obviously you can use synonyms. Okay, so these are the techniques and skills involved in answering your reading comprehension questions. Okay, which is tested under under paper 1 0500. Okay, so thank you very much.